Hey guys, Jason. And today I want to talk about MtGox. And this has not been a topic of my videos for a long time. And of course there's tons of news. You know, there's the bankruptcy coming out. And a lot of people have been asking me, Jason, can you tell me about MtGox? What's going on? And I'm working on right now a multi-part series where I'll kind of explain everything that's going on with MtGox. But I know people have wanted to know, and I want to kind of give a brief overview. I know a lot of people say sometimes I talk about old news, but I just get a lot of emails, and I want to inform the people that watch my videos. So here we go. MtGox, if you haven't just heard, is in a bankruptcy stage. And there's conflict of how many coins do they really have. And there's numbers out there, but the problem is that some are saying that the guy that runs MtGox has another stash of coins that will be taken into the bankruptcy case. Nobody really knows. But I think something that's really interesting too is he has a lot of intellectual property. And not just intellectual property, but physical property. Such as he owns the domain, or his company, more or less, owns the domain bitcoins.com. Now this domain went online, and it was basically being for a bid. They have to, because of the auction, because of the, I guess I should back up, because of the bankruptcy, they have to auction off all property. And included in that is any domains that they own. Well, they own, of course they own MtGox.com, but they also own, bitcoins.com. Bitcoins.com is currently bidding for $750,000, $750,000. Now you might say, Jason, what does this money go to? Well, in an American bankruptcy court, that money will be given to shareholders. And in America, if you don't understand this, let me break this down. So in America, if a company goes bankrupt, how it should be paid is, first of all, the bondholders get paid, then preferred stock, and then common stock. The problem with that being that in the 2008 recession, or the Great Recession, however you want to call it, GM started selling their preferred and common stock, and they left out their bondholders. And a lot of pension funds had money invested in the bonds, and they kind of got short-sighted. And there's still ongoing court cases on how that's going to be decided. So bankruptcy used to be set in stone, and now it's kind of iffy. But now this is a Japanese bankruptcy. And they follow pretty much the same procedures. They're basically requiring them to sell off all their assets. And what we can interpret is, they have, on public note right now, they have this many bitcoins. They need to give back this many bitcoins. So, any person's going to look at that and say, well, man, they have less bitcoins than they owe people. And that's true. So what they're going to be trying to probably do is they're going to use these assets, for instance, bitcoins.com, and they're going to sell that, and those funds are going to go directly into another fund that will pay out the owner, the people that are owed bitcoins. Now, in a common bankruptcy, when all owners or all people that are owed money are all equal in the thing, so someone had, let's break this down. So someone had 1,000 bitcoins in MtGox, which, oh my gosh, I hope they don't. And if someone had 1 bitcoin, you might say, well, how did they figure that out? Let's assume there's only 2 users, the person with 1,000 bitcoins and the person with 1 bitcoin. But let's say there's only 90% of the bitcoins available to pay out. Well, what will happen is this guy will get 900 bitcoins, 90% of his 1,000, and this guy will get 0.9 bitcoins. You might say, well, Jason, that's not fair. I had a bitcoin in MtGox, and I'm only getting 0.9. And yes, I concur that all the situations that MtGox did is very shady, and hopefully this bankruptcy kind of gets people's money back, and hopefully gets some documents out in the open so we can see what kind of shady business went on. But in bankruptcy, you get a proportion. So sadly enough, if you have a Bitcoin and if you have, 2 Bitcoins, you're only going to get, and this is a hypothetical number, this is not the real number, but you're going to get a percentage if there's not enough coins. Everyone's going to get an equal percentage. Hopefully, I hope that Japanese courts honor that kind of bankruptcy tradition. But that's how it's going to go down. Again, this is just a very general video kind of talking about some of their assets. Again, they have the website domains that they have are some of their largest assets because, they have cold wallets of Bitcoins on hand, and they have assets. They've already fired most of their employees. They don't really have too many more assets. Their building was being rented. They rented a floor for their company, so they didn't really have a building or anything to sell. They didn't have hundreds of cars to sell or whatever. So their assets pretty much are digital assets, like websites, the coins themselves. I myself, I have about $10 worth of Bitcoin still in MtGox. So while I'm not that concerned, I am a little bit concerned because I'd like my $10 back. And so I'm following this just like the rest of you guys, and I hope to bring you guys the latest MtGox news. Watch out for my basically a little bit mini documentary on what happened to MtGox from start to beginning, or start to end really, and what went wrong. And I'll be doing that in a few months. I really want to put some high quality effort into that, but that'll be coming out in a few months. And thanks guys for watching. This has been Jason Schaffel. Have a great day.